Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us as always is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. I'm hopped up on pain meds, so this is going to be a fun day today.
And also your AMC Movie News Production Manager, tongue twister Dennis Zen.
Happy week of the turkey, everyone.
Oh, yes, week
also
of the turkey.
here, writer-director John Schnepp.
And Black Friday. Get your weird stuff that you're going to get for 48% off or whatever. I don't know.
And also your AMC's Alicia Malone.
And pumpkin pie, which is the best revelation of moving here to America.
Do you know, I don't like pumpkin pie.
What?
I know.
I love
Everybody
it.
looks at me like I'm some kind of freak. Well, they always look at me like I'm some kind of freak of nature, but
Now
especially
extra. Now extra.
There's one more reason. All right, hey, listen, folks. Before we get started, I wanted to fill you in on something, let you know about a little something that's going on here with AMC. We are really excited that we are in a matter of the next couple of weeks. Our AMC Movies YouTube channel, you know, we didn't start all that long ago, and some of you have been with us this whole ride. Some of you have been with us since, a lot of you tell us since the Superman review that we did. For however long you've been with us, thank you so much for supporting us. Our YouTube channel is about to cross the 100 million views mark, which I think for some big YouTube channels, that's a drop in the bucket, whatever. But for us, considering how we started, it's a pretty big deal to us. And so, to commemorate and celebrate this thing that we're all pretty jazzed about, we are going to be having a special live broadcast of AMC Movie News here on Friday, December the 12th, and that'll be in the evening. And we want to invite a bunch of you guys who are viewers and fans of the show to come down and be a part of that. Not only will you be part of the live studio audience for this special edition of the show that we're doing, but we're also having a really fun after party that'll go probably till about 11 o'clock at night. And let's bring up that graphic here if we got that set up here. So if you are a fan or a viewer of AMC Movie News and you want to come to this special live broadcast and after party, here's what you need to do. Email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, when you email us, make sure, this is important, make sure you put in the subject line, party request. And then in the email, let us know you want to come to the party, let us know your age, where you're from, and why you want to come, and all that kind of good stuff. Now, we don't have enough space for everybody who wants to come, obviously, but we will select a whole bunch of the requests at random, and then you will be notified via email if you've been selected to come on down for the party. Now, obviously, this is best if you live in or around LA. I already got emails from people, because I posted about this on my social network. People are going to drive down from Sacramento.
Cool.
There's like somebody coming in from Iowa.
Yes.
It's like, okay, great. That's awesome if you want to do that. But obviously, it's best if you do that. But yeah, if you want to be a part of that night, just email us in, and we are really excited about it. We can't wait for it to happen, and we hope that you can be a part of it.
And send a check for $500. And I will get you in.
Dennis then will have the special side door.
Yeah, there's the side door for all you people from
VIP.
Iowa. You get a free comic. Yeah.
All right, with that out of the way, what's up?
The box office numbers are in, and as expected, The Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 1 dominated the weekend, making roughly double than the next 9 films in the top 10 combined. The new film took in $123 million on its opening weekend, while Big Hero 6 held onto the number 2 spot, making just over $20 million in its third week. Interstellar made another $15 million on its third week, while Dumb and Dumber 2 fell to the number 4 spot, making $13.8 million. Rounding out the top 5 is Gone Girl with its 8th straight week in the top 5, bringing in another $2.8 million. John, what stands out to you about this weekend's box office reports?
A lot of stuff jumps out to me about this. First of all, huge success for Mockingjay. Yeah, it is down from what the opening of the previous 2 Hunger Games films were. But still a remarkable number. I think somebody actually emailed in last week and said, it might have been during the live Twitter question, somebody said, hey, line at 120 million where Hunger Games make over or under. And we were all like, hey, that's a good number. It was almost dead on of a number. I think we all took over, and it was just slightly over. Huge weekend. You know what? I'm still kind of flabbergasted at the criticism the movie takes. For me personally, I thought it was the best movie of the bunch so far. I thought it was a very different movie from the other ones that we've had in the series so far, but I thought it was very dramatic, really great, slow burn, really good, setting us up for the next one. Wonderful. The drop of Dumb and Dumber 2 also stands out. Dumb and Dumber 2, of course, was ahead of Big Hero 6 and Interstellar last week, dropped below it in the following. I think it dropped like 67%. I think which kind of means that everybody who was really looking forward to this movie went out, were passionate about it, went out to see it right away. And of course, as we're saying week after week after week, Gone Girl. It just keeps hanging in there and hanging around. I think this will probably be its final week in the top 5, but amazing showing for it. Anyway, Dennis, what stands out to you about the box office numbers this week?
Well, it's definitely going to be Mockingjay Part 1. I was one of those people that was like, oh man, it's going to make a ton of money. It's going to make more than the last 2, because that's what usually happens, especially when you're coming off a sequel that was well received by both critics and fans.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was going to get closer to, 140, 150 or something like that. And it did not. It's interesting to me. I mean, I know there's a couple of factors. The whole, it's a part 1 of 2 thing.
Yeah.
And then also, this is the first one that's like not about the games, and there's less focus on the kind of romantic triangle thing going on. But I still thought it was going to make a lot more.
Really? Because I thought that 120 line was. I'm so not used to looking at you on my left. Anyway,
Yeah, I know.
Alicia.
I stole your seat. I'm really sorry. I got here first. I'm like, I'm claiming this seat. It's amazing when you look at the difference between number 1 and number 2. I mean, the money that it's made is so huge. Everyone went to see Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 except for me. I haven't seen it yet, and it is killing me right here because I love the book, so I can't wait. I'm going to go see it this week. I love seeing that Gone Girl is still in the top 5. Dennis, I remember when it first came out, you said, and you were totally right, that it would hang on and word of mouth would keep it going, and it definitely has. Dumb and Dumber 2, I haven't seen that film either, but I agree. It seems like everyone went out who wanted to see it, and then everyone else was like, meh. Hunger Games.
Me and Dennis saw it opening weekend, Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah. Same screen, and we didn't even know we were there. We came out of the movie, we saw each other in the parking lot.
And then like did the parking lot, hang out and chat. Like, yeah, it was pretty stupid. It was dumb. I loved it. It was so dumb. Yeah, I also didn't see Hunger Games, and it's bothering me, so I'm glad that you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Just so that we could suffer together. But yeah, the thing that sticks out to me is that Gone Girl won't be gone. I think I think it'll stick around. It'll be number 5 next week too, because it's word of mouth, and it's different than everything else that's out there. So it's one of those things where, we were talking about that. People show up at the movie theater, don't know what they're going to see yet. They're like, I don't know, maybe I heard Gone Girl's good.
Yeah.
Whoop, if like these other ones are selling out, that's usually the second or third one that people are like ratcheting into, as well as just the word of mouth. People want to see it, so.
Although I would love to see Gone Girl Street continue, but what it'll have to go up against, it made 2-point-something million this week to just barely hang on to number 5, right? So we're still going to have Hunger Games in there. We're still going to have Big Hero 6, which made north of 20.
Right.
We're still going to have Interstellar. And we've got Horrible Bosses 2 coming out, which is going to make more than $2.8 million. We got The Penguins of Madagascar coming out. So it's going to be a tough thing for Gone Girl to hang on the number 5 spot.
Let me rephrase that. It'll still be in the top 10, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Not top 5.
But it's been going for 8 weeks now.
8
That's
weeks
great.
is crazy. That hardly ever happens anymore. All right, what's next?
Deadline is reporting that 5-time Oscar nominee Amy Adams has signed on to star in the upcoming Janis Joplin biopic. According to the report, the Oscar-nominated director of the Dallas Buyers Club, Jean-Marc Vallée, will helm the project. Joplin rose to fame in the late 60s and had her life cut short at the age of 27 due to a heroin overdose. Schnapp, do you like the idea of Adams playing Joplin?
I love the idea. Are we in buy and sell? Am I buying
yet,
it?
no.
Not yet.
But you
I'd
can
buy
if you
I'm
want.
just buying it anyway. I'm pre-buying before we even buy. Yeah, Amy Adams is an incredibly talented actress, and I think she'll do Janis Joplin justice as far as like portraying her in this biopic. I can't see another actress now that they named Amy Adams like, wow, she's perfect. So yeah, I totally.
Alicia?
Yeah, I would buy this too if that was the option, because she's such a great actress. Plus, she can sing. We've seen it before. And I mean, there's been so many Janis Joplin projects going on for the last few years. I remember at one time Lee Daniels was going to direct one, Renee Zellweger was going to star in another. So I hope that this continues. I like Jean-Marc as a director, and he seems to be really good with actors, like what he did with Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto in Dallas Buyers Club. And Wild, which I can't wait to see with Reese Witherspoon, which is getting great reviews already, or pre-buzz for that one. So I like him as a director. I think he's going to get to this maybe, they said, second half of 2015, because he's working on another film with my future husband, Jake Gyllenhaal, right now, which I will be seeing as well. So I think it's a perfect choice.
Yeah, I actually think this is the project Daniels was attached to, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. Look, I'm one of these rare guys who I get crap a lot because I actually don't like biopics about musicians for the most part, right? But to everything, there's an exception. A biopic about Janis Joplin, who you could make an argument may be the most iconic female figure in rock and roll history. I mean, she's just, there's something, you hear a Janis Joplin tune, you know it's Janis Joplin. There are few women in rock and roll history who so much about themselves is in that voice. And then when you talk about a story about the estrangement from her parents, about how she moved away, about how she almost walked away from the band she was in at the time, almost didn't even want to take the gig, and how that all evolved, and of course, dying so young at 27. At first, I didn't like the idea of Amy Adams. We've got 5-time Oscar nominee. She is one of the best in the business. Yeah, but I didn't quite see her as a fit. But then I went back and watched some stuff from The Fighter again, and watched her in The Fighter. And I'm like, no, I take it back. She's perfect. She'll be great in this. So yeah, I'm all for this, Dennis.
I think it'd be a big home run. I mean, I think she does kind of fit that role, and she's one of the best actresses today. And you have the director from Dallas Buyers Club, like you mentioned, with the whole, I mean, the movie didn't win the Best Picture Oscar, but he won for Best Actor. So this could be maybe 6 time is the charm for her.
She's kind of turned into the female version of DiCaprio, right? It's now just assumed when Amy Adams is in a movie,
Yeah.
she's going to be nominated. You just assume it because she's that good. And
She
at some
makes
point,
good choices.
and she makes great choices. Like her and DiCaprio are like simpatico that way.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
In a recent interview with Crave, Sylvester Stallone was asked if he felt the decision to make Expendables 3 a PG-13 was a mistake. Stallone said the following: "Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. I believe it was a horrible miscalculation on everyone's part in trying to reach a wider audience, but in doing such, diminish the violence that what the audience expects. I'm quite certain it won't happen again." Stallone also went on to reveal that he originally wanted Mel Gibson to direct the film as well. However, after several months of negotiating, they were unable to reach an agreement, and Gibson went on to star in the film as the villain. Alicia, buy or sell Stallone's comments?
I buy. I like that Stallone listens to the fans, and I also agree with his comments. I thought that Expendables 3 was the least fun of the franchise, and some of that did have to do with the PG-13 rating because there was no blood, not much pain, so the action sequences just felt paint by numbers. There were no stakes to it. And Stallone also said in that interview that when you have PG-13, you can't really kill off a main character. So everyone knows that they're all going to survive. Plus, I didn't like how they added in those fresh, young faces into the mix.
I didn't like that
because
much either.
what I like about this franchise is that these old veteran
80s.
action stars all interacting in a way that they never would have back in the 80s.
It's like
That's
we
what I
get to
liked
play
about
with
it.
all the action figures in one movie.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like,
Exactly.
Sorry,
So when it
go ahead.
became about the young people, it's like, what's the point? And it didn't do very well at the box office, made under 40 million here, although better overseas. So a bit of a miss, but sounds like he's going to fix it for number 4.
I sell these comments. I sell half of them at any rate. I mean, and I think Stallone knows this. The reason that Expendables 3 did not do well at the box office as well as they were hoping had nothing to do with the PG or R rating. People did or did not go to see it before they knew how much action was in it. I mean, they went to see opening weekend. That had nothing to do with it. It had a lot more to do with the fact that I think people might be getting a little tired of shit. Although I loved Expendables 2, and I was excited for Expendables 3. I love that they had Mel Gibson coming as the villain. But let's call a spade here. The whole marketing campaign was nothing but this guy's in this movie and this guy's in this movie. And it's like, okay, yeah, you've done that marketing campaign before. Look at everybody who's in this movie. And that's all their trailer was, like from beginning to end. So look, is he right? Is Expendables better served as an R-rated film? It absolutely is. But I thought there was still a high degree, big body count in Expendables 3, regardless of the PG or R rating. But the reason it didn't do well, nothing to do with the PG or R. There's a lot of other things that made this movie not as good as Expendables 2. I would have loved to have seen Expendables 3 directed by Mel Gibson. Holy crap. As it stands, he was the best thing about this movie as it was. But could you imagine this movie directed by him? I think that could have been really kick-ass. Anyway, Dennis, your thoughts on it?
Well,
Buy or sell?
I buy that he admits that they made a mistake, but
Yeah.
then I also sell, because remember, he was the guy who came out with that quote, like, we're going to make it PG-13 because the younger generation is, like, clamoring to see this franchise,
Right.
and people are begging us. Apparently, I don't know who he's been talking to, because if
Yeah,
you
they
talked to
won't.
anyone here on this panel, we
Yeah.
would have told them, like, no, that's
And we
not,
did.
Yeah, exactly.
On that show, because I remember we were on that show when that quote came out, and all of us were like, no, we want an R-rated
Yeah.
Expendables 3. I still haven't seen Expendables 3, and it's honestly, because it's not rated R. Because I want to see heads explode. I want to see bodies blown apart. I want to see people fight to the death. I want that kind of 80s action
Yes.
films, and that's what Expendables was. And that's why Expendables was the second one was so entertaining. That's why the fourth Rambo was so entertaining, because he had head exploding arrows. I mean, I lost count at like the 25th head that exploded.
Yeah, lots of exploding heads in
That's
Rambo.
what you want when you see an 80s action film with all these guys in it. So that quote really still bothers me. That you brought it up irked me, because I'm like, when he was saying, yeah, the young kids, it's like, screw those young kids.
Well, not only that, they
It's
don't know
R-rated.
who most of these older guys are. They didn't watch
Exactly.
the 80s.
They don't know who
movies, so
Chuck
they don't-
Norris is.
How
I'm
many
serious.
17-year-olds are lining up to see Dolph Lundgren?
No.
They're
No
not.
one.
It's people
No.
our age.
Well,
We're
yeah,
fun to
they'll
see
say
Dolph
exactly.
Lundgren.
Exactly.
Who's Dolph Lundgren?
Right.
Exactly.
What's Rocky? I never heard of
Yeah.
Rocky before.
Is that the thing? Is he Rocky?
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
bring up the
oh.
comparison to the last Rambo film, and while all that is absolutely true, at the same time, what is also true is take all the violence out, which is hard to do for Expendables or Rambo, but take all the violence out.
The
Rambo-
15 minutes that you're left with.
Yeah.
The Rambo film was a much better film than Expendables 3 was.
didn't
There was
see
actually
Expendables
something
3.
to
Yeah, I
it.
liked
Anyway,
it.
Alicia, your thoughts on
Yeah,
all this?
well, like I was saying before, but something else I wanted to add was that, remember there was the leak as well of this movie beforehand.
Right.
Online.
I
so
don't
that
think that did
could
much.
have hurt it a little bit, but yeah, I agree. The young people don't want to see this movie. It's us. It's the oldies.
All right, what's next?
In a recent interview with Coming Soon, Wanted producer Mark Platt was asked about the possibility of a Wanted 2. Platt said the following: "We have a script that's getting pretty good. To do a sequel when it wasn't really set up for a sequel, one of our main characters dies in it, you don't want to just retreat a similar story. But when we get the script to a certain bar, there will be a sequel. It's taken a while because it's challenging, as I said, because we lost a main character. So where that James McAvoy character goes now, we have good ideas though. It's coming along. Dennis, buy or sell a Wanted 2?
I'm gonna have to sell it. I had mixed feelings about the original. I enjoyed some of the action, but and you know, the bending bullets thing was cool, but
You didn't like the Weave World
You
stuff?
know,
We're like, hey, we're
the
bending
Loom
time.
of Fate,
Loom.
I hated,
Yeah,
and then Morgan Freeman going all gangster at the end, just didn't buy it. But for me, the reason why also I sell this is because Angelina Jolie is not going to be in it, and she's like the one, even though she isn't actually the main character in the movie, she's the one that's associated with it. Everyone that thinks of Wanted thinks of Angelina Jolie. They don't think of James McAvoy, who I really like, but he's just not the big name or the big draw that she is.
I am going to buy this so hard. I loved everything about the original Wanted. I did. I lapped that movie up, and I love the Loom of Fate. And I thought that Loom of Fate was awesome and so different from any other kind of device that we've seen any other movie with a kind of like a supernatural flavor to it. No other movie has gone to something. We found patterns in this blanket. I mean, come on! They're bending bullets. I
Yeah.
thought it was so. And you know what? Maybe I would have hated it if the Loom of Fate was not said in the Morgan Freeman voice. If anybody else said Loom of Fate, maybe it doesn't work. But it worked for me. Whatever. Okay. I have wanted to see another one ever since the end of the second one. And yeah, Angelina Jolie's gone. You can't bring her back. I mean, you could get into something really strange maybe to try to bring her back. But I thought the way they set up the mythology, if you will, of this lineage of assassins and what drives them, and it's like genetically passed on and where it leaves off. And everybody forgets Chris Pratt's in that movie, and he's really funny in it
yeah.
too. I'm all for it. I want this. I want this today. I want it now. I will be there to see it, Alicia.
I buy if Timur Bekmambetov is back as director, because
Mm-hmm.
I love his style, that kind of hyper stylized, those cool action scenes like we're saying with the bullets. I thought it ended perfectly. I mean, everyone pretty much died. I love when he looks at the camera and he's like, what the F have you done lately?
Yeah.
It was very, very cool ending, but there's probably more you can do with the world. I think they were talking about focusing on the other assassin fraternities that are out there. So I would see it if Timur is back as director.
Sure.
Yeah, I buy it and I sell it. I buy that. I totally loved Wanted, and I agree with you. Like, just that train sequence. I mean, there's so many. If you haven't seen Wanted, just see it right now. Finish watching our show, then see Wanted. But yeah, but how many years has it been now? It's like 8 years, 9 years, almost a decade.
Maybe 6 years.
How long is it going to take you to work on a 90-page script? I sell that. It's a lame excuse. It's like, we got some things to work out. Well, figure it out in one more day, dude, because... Well, come on, man. That's how hard is that really to figure out whether you get Angelina Jolie, you have a loom of fate. Look, you just open the loom. Here's an alternate reality where she's still alive. Bam. Now write the script, you moron. You know, it's like, how hard is it? It's really easy. Just do it. I mean, that's what's bugging me is like, yeah, Angelina Jolie's dead. That's what he's trying to say is we're trying to work out a way that we can bring her back. It's like, you're dealing with the fake thing called the loom of fate. It's not even real. I mean, it's not that hard.
I don't think she's keen on coming back. Like, she's getting more and more into the directing and stuff like that. And I don't know if we can see her doing it. Somebody asked on Mailbag this weekend about Salt 2. And my feeling that, look, Angelina, I think, is an incredible action star. She's badass when she's in these things. But I get the feeling she's moving away from that. I think we will see her act more. But I think it's probably going to be more dramatic. I think everything she's going to do from now on is probably be Oscar bait. And we're going to see her focusing more on directing, which... That might be a good move for her at this point. She's turned out to be pretty damn good.
I would see her in Wanted to, and
So
I think
would I.
everyone knows that they would see her in Wanted to. That's why they're like still trying to figure out how to get her back into Wanted to, but it's so obvious and easy. They should just make it, throw her a ton of money before she says no. Like, it's going to be like, yeah, in 2 more years she's going to say no. So,
all right. Well, this last buy and sell item is kind of off the hook. So, Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen, Star Wars.
What's that? What are we talking about?
So, I can tell you this: the first 90-second Star Wars trailer is going to drop this Friday in select theaters around the country. Now, actually, later today, maybe even by the time this video goes up a little bit later this afternoon, look in the description. We may have a link in there for the actual theater listings. And show, hopefully there's an AMC theater near you that will be showing the trailer. Now, it was announced this morning because Regal Cinemas announced on their website that it was happening. That post has since been pulled for reasons. But I can tell you that it is going to be launching in theaters everywhere, select theaters this Friday. Keep your eye open for it. Look on AMC's website. Follow us on Twitter. We will let you know as soon as we have an official theater listing out, and you will be able to see, and hopefully it's going to be in a theater near you. I am not lying when I tell you this.
wait a second, John. Are you saying that...
Wait, be careful what we say.
Are you saying that the Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer will actually be in certain AMC theaters this Thursday?
Friday. I'm glad you clarified. See, now
sure.
I can just picture John Schnepp sitting in an AMC theater for 12 hours on Thursday. Where's this damn
eating
Star
a bowl
Wars
of
trailer?
stuffing and cranberries? I was crying.
Well, you know what we're doing on Friday? We're just going to sit at the theater all day, watch the trailer, and then go and look for another
Well,
one.
Yeah,
I
go watch it again.
kid you not. We had plans for this Thanksgiving that Ann and I were going to go to her mom's place and hang out with her family on Thanksgiving, and then we were going to go to Vegas and spend Thanksgiving weekend in Vegas. However, I may or may not know where certain theaters are that's going to be playing, but I don't know all of them. We have an AMC theater in Las Vegas. If that Las Vegas theater is one of the theaters, I will continue on with my plans. This is how much of a loser I am. If that trailer is not playing in our Las Vegas theaters, I told my wife this morning, we're scrapping our Thanksgiving plans. We are staying in LA, and I'm going to be because I can't go to Vegas when I know a Star Wars trailer is playing somewhere back home.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how much this is.
Especially everyone online like me and Dennis. We totally saw it 8 times. How's gambling going? Yeah.
All right, with that being said, it's time for Mailbag. Listen, folks, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address in the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Just send on your questions. Now, if we have a couple of minutes left at the end of the show, we'll take some of your live Twitter questions as well. But for now, let's get to the mailbag. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Cody Wise writes, "Hey guys, stay awesome. So my question today is, will we ever see a Wreck-It Ralph sequel? I love the movie and both audiences and critics loved it. It did decent at the box office, and I just love the world that it was in. Thanks, and bring on the filthy."
Well, just as early as about 5 months ago, John C. Reilly said, yeah. He goes, I've talked to Disney execs, we're doing a sequel. And also the director of the film, I believe it was also just about 5-6 months ago, says, yep, we're moving ahead. And he dropped a bomb saying that he's got a great use for Mario in it. So as far as I know, the plan is still that they are moving ahead with Wreck-It Ralph 2. They're developing it, and that Mario's going to be part of it. John C. Reilly's on board. Sarah Silverman says she's still on board. So why it's taking this long to get it going, I'm not really sure. I'm sure a lot of work is being done behind the scenes, but I've seen nothing to make us think that it's not. And I, for one, am very, very excited about it. Schnepp?
Yeah, me too. Just make sure you bring Hubert back in. He should have a slightly larger role in Wreck-It Ralph 2. Yeah, they're going to make it. It was a big hit, and it was a lot of fun. I couldn't see why they wouldn't make a Wreck-It Ralph 2. So.
Alicia?
I love the world that it's set in, like Cody said. The villains anonymous meeting, like even just that idea itself, there's so much you could do with that, and having all the video game characters involved. It's funny because, so that story about John C. Reilly, that broke through my friend in Australia who sent his 5-year-old daughter to do the interview with John C. Reilly. So I think that's a good way to get the scoop. Just send someone really cute in.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. I mean, the movie made a ton of money, and it's one of the ones that Disney has that's very franchisable. I mean, there's other ones like, oh, I don't know if the story really fits to making a sequel, and maybe they kind of twist it around and make it. But this one is definitely, okay, you're bringing Mario. There's so many different avenues you can take with it. So I'm excited to see it.
All right, what's next?
Matt Hill writes, "Hi there, AMC Movie Talk. I love the show all the way over here in England. Have any of you ever been to cover a press junket where you didn't enjoy or hated the movie and had to interview the actors or directors afterwards? Did you have to back out of doing the interviews? Would love to hear your experiences. Thanks, and bring on the filthy."
Okay, Dennis and Schnepp have not covered press junkets, so
I have.
You've covered a... Oh, well, you covered a...
Secret?
Yeah,
You covered a
we could talk
set
about
visit.
it. Yeah, and it was horrible, guys. I was on the Avengers set watching Joss Whedon direct. Some scene I can't talk about. Had to interview all the actors, like hang out with Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Totally sucked.
Oh,
Just kidding.
What about... Let's go start with you then. Like, what are... You've done hundreds of junkets.
This year, 52. And this has been a slow year for me. Like, I've chosen not to do too many.
Have you had any experiences like what they're asking about?
Many experiences like this where you see a movie and then you're like, oh, that is this terrible movie. I don't like what it stands for, but I've committed to the outlets I'm working for to deliver them material, and you can't back out. And a lot of times I'm working for Australia, and I know for the international side of things, definitely the marketing teams for the studios, they pay per slot. So I can't just back out of something. And it's hard because junkets are kind of a promotion of the movie, but I try to stay neutral unless I love the movie. I'm just very careful not to say that I love it if I don't love it. But I try to be respectful, and then I ask certain questions like, why did this happen, or why did this happen, but in a nice way. But it can be a tricky balance, and it's a tough thing, the junket. It's like speed dating. You get 4 minutes, and then next 4 minutes, and then next 4 minutes, and you're trying to come up with something interesting and unique. And if it's a movie like a Nicholas Sparks movie,
And then you
you're
wake
like,
up with one of
oh
them the
my
next
God.
day, and you can't remember if they were one of the ones
Yeah,
you
which
did.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's really
difficult.
confusing.
You know, I don't do many junkets anymore. We have other people on AMC Movie News crew who are, quite frankly, much better at it than I am, who now go and cover their, including Alicia, who
I'm
go
going
and
to
cover
the
these.
Hobbit.
But one of the, that's right, you're going to be covering Hobbit. One of the difficult things is I've always been committed. I will never lie and say I like something if I don't.
No.
So what I've tried to do in the past is go into a movie, and if there's something I didn't like about the movie, I will try to focus on something I did like about it. And I'll ask questions revolving around that one thing without saying. The most difficult one I ever had to do with something like that was, I always say her name wrong, Amanda Seyfried?
Yeah.
Amanda Seyfried's film Gone. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It's like 2 or 3 years ago.
I did that one as well.
That movie, oh my God, it's so bad. It's so awful. And Amanda is a delightful young lady, and I'm sitting there with her, and that was so hard trying to come up with things that I could talk to her about that wouldn't betray the fact that I did not like the movie and I didn't want it to look like I did, but try to stay positive at the same time.
Yeah.
That was the hardest one for me. I've never done
It's
more,
really, really
more
tough.
difficult
And
than
like
that.
Best of Me recently, the Nicholas Sparks movie.
Oh,
That was hard to come up with questions. And I did say, like, why did you cast Luke Bracey as a young James Marsden? That doesn't make sense.
yeah.
Anyway.
Why did you do this as opposed to anything else you could have possibly done? All right, folks, listen, we're over time, but we're going to take 2 quick questions from Twitter. We're going to rapid fire this. So, Ashley, what have you picked out?
Ethan Hoffman writes, "The new Hunger Games movie made a lot of money at the box office. Do you think the new Hobbit movie will make more money?"
No. I think it'll make $100 million opening weekend, but I don't think it'll make 120. Would it be a better movie? I don't know. That's a different question. But I think it'll make an awful lot of money, but I don't think it'll make 120. Dennis?
No, and I had originally said that I thought Mockingjay was going to make the most, and now I'm like, oh, I don't know. I think Guardians might have it beat in terms of total box office for the entire year.
Schnepp?
I'm gonna say I think it'll probably make over 100. Just from buzz, like pre-buzz, once it's almost gonna come out, I think people are gonna, because a lot of people are still in like hibernation, just like me. I forget that the Hobbit's coming out. You just mentioned
The final one.
Yeah, and when finally it's like, oh, it's coming out next week, I'm going. So
Right.
I think it's gonna make over 100 million. Is it gonna make 120? Who knows? But I think everyone, once they wake up to the fact that this is the very last Hobbit, the last time you're going to the Shire, you know, it's like, and it's the Battle of the Five Armies. Just that trailer alone made me like, oh, this is like Lord of the, Return of the King. It just has that flavor. So, that's my
I don't think as much as Mockingjay, but I think it'll do really well. It's coming out around Christmas time, isn't it? So it's a big moment, like a lot of films to compete with.
All right, last question.
All right, I don't know how true this is, but everyone on the Twitter board is talking about this breaking news, and Chris writes, thoughts on Oscar Isaac playing Apocalypse in X-Men?
Ooh.
Well, this might be one of those things that breaks after we've gotten into the studio here. If that's true, Oscar Isaacs is awesome.
Yeah.
And look, this will probably be much like a Josh Brolin playing Apocalypse. It's really going to be more about, it's going to be all animated and whatever, most likely. Dennis is looking up some details right now, I can see. So I guess that's what we're going around. Like I said, that's the weird thing about when we shoot the show. Sometimes news drops. So I'm sure we will talk about it tomorrow.
If
But
that's
just
the case,
quick impressions?
I love it.
Fantastic.
He's an incredible actor. I mean, he's the only thing that I liked about that last Coen Brothers movie. I love the Coen Brothers movies, but he's such a great actor. Even though I didn't like the movie per se, he's incredible in it. I know he's a Jedi or something in the new Star Wars movie or whatever. He's in the new Star Wars movie, but more exciting is like just him acting in real movies. So
Yeah, and Most Violent Year, I've been hearing good things about that. He's a brilliant actor, and I'd love to see him as a villain. That'd be awesome.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like Variety is confirming I don't think it's like confirmed by the studio, but
Right.
Variety is reporting
If
that
Variety's
it is
reporting
pretty,
it, that's pretty solid. Oh, well, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, folks, listen, I want to remind you one more time that we've got this party coming up to celebrate our 100 million views. If you want to be a part of that live broadcast and come to our party, email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Very important, put in the subject line, party request, and then let us know your age, where you're from, and why you want to come to this party. I want to thank, first of all, everybody sitting at this table with me. Sitting on my left, our production manager, Mr. Dennis Zen. Dennis, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter @ThinkHero or on Instagram, dennis.tzng.
Right over here, Miss Alicia Malone. Alicia, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, @Alicia Malone. I try to reply to everyone who's nice to me.
Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you?
And I reply to anybody who says cool stuff. The Twitter and Instagram @John Schnepp and @TDOSLWH. And if you come here and you're from Ohio or Iowa or Michigan or Chicago, like Illinois somewhere abouts, I'll make sure you get in.
Schnepp is writing checks his mouth can't cash. Or Schnepp's writing checks that his ass can't catch. Okay, and of course, over there, our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you online?
Twitter, Instagram, @AshleyMova. Happy Monday, guys.
And you can find me on all the various social media networks @JohnCampy. Listen, folks, don't forget, lots of great movies playing at AMC Theaters right now. Head on over to www.amc Theaters for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of the video, and you'll find a link to our podcast feed. So that'll do it for us, folks. My name is John Campy for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.